So let's talk a little bit about the Fantastic Four, or should I say Disney's adaptation of the Fantastic Four that's slated to come out this July. Now, having seen the trailer and listening to a lot of other channels that cover this, I'm seeing a lot of red flags with this movie, and it's kind of got me a little concerned because this was one of the movies I was actually looking forward to because I was a big fan of the Fantastic Four. I grew up with it. I remember watching the Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the 60s into the 70s. That's what got me into Marvel Comics. And when I realized that there was a comic book about the Fantastic Four, I was just blown away and I was hooked. I became a Marvel Comics fan. I collected from the early 80s all the way into the 90s. And I have to say, I'm not old enough to remember the original books from the Fantastic Four that came out in 1961. But I have to say, I've circled back to it a lot, and I've actually collected some of the older issues. And there was also a comic run that was in the 80s called Marvel Saga, and it covered a lot of the old Marvel characters, the Fantastic Four, the Hulk, Captain America, Submariner. It was all there. And you look at it, and you see that, the storylines were there. And Disney, for God's sake, why can't they just follow the comic books? Why can't they just follow what the stories were in that? It's already written for them. All they have to do is print money at this point. I don't understand what the problem is with it. But let's talk about this adaptation that's coming out in July. That's kind of got me concerned. A lot of red flags. For one, let's talk about Reed Richards. Pedro Pascal, to me, he is not Reed Richards. I like him in some things, but he is horribly casted in this. He doesn't look like Reed Richards. He doesn't sound like Reed Richards. He doesn't act like Reed Richards from what I'm seeing in the trailer. And now that gets me to Sue Storm. Now, Sue Storm was a very important part of this team, but from what I'm seeing in the trailer, they're trying to make it seem like she's the leader of the group. And with everything that's happened over the past 5 years with what Disney Marvel has put out, everything has been geared toward the girl boss and the girl that's the key to everything. And everything has to be female driven. And I'm going to be honest with you, that has killed the MCU in so many different ways. And right now, from what I'm seeing in the trailer, that's what it's looking like. It's going to happen with this movie. That brings me to Johnny Storm. Now, in the comic, Johnny Storm is a headstrong, arrogant womanizer. He's a flirtatious dude. He's hot-headed. He jumps into things without thinking, and a lot of the times it gets him and the team in trouble. But you know what? That's who the character is. And from what I'm seeing and hearing, they're going to water this character down. And that's just a shame because it's such a good character. And now it gets me to the thing. Now, I take a lot of this to heart because I was a big fan of the Thing. In fact, that's what really got me into the Fantastic Four, is because I liked the battles that he had with the Incredible Hulk and everything else. They were epic. And looking at this version of it, I know a lot of people are saying it looks good and it's great, but I have problems with it. And I don't know what it is. There's just something with the CGI on it. I don't know. But when you look at the face on it, it just don't look right to me. I don't know why, but it's just something about it. Now, I go back to the 2005 movie because I know a lot of people bagged on that movie so bad, especially with The Thing, because they said, well, it didn't really look like the comic version. However, if you go back to the early versions of the Fantastic Four in the comics, you will see that they actually were pretty spot on with what The Thing looked like back then. See, a lot of people don't realize that it took a couple years before The Thing took the form that we know and love today, because when he first came out, he was a hideous looking rock monster, and that's what he looked like in the '05 version. But I don't know what it is about this. He doesn't sound like the Thing. He doesn't dress like the Thing. It's just something about it. It just don't look right. And that brings me to the Silver Surfer. Now, when I saw that they were going to gender swap the Silver Surfer, that pretty much was a game changer for me, and it pretty much was the final red flag for me. That was pretty much like, hey, I'm not going to go watch this movie because Disney just cannot help themselves, because they've painted themselves into this woke ideology corner that they can't get out of. They have to check so many different boxes now, and all they got to do is just follow the comic. and cast it the way it was. I don't understand. It's not rocket science. I just don't get why they do what they do. But let's be real. The female Silver Surfer is not the Silver Surfer. Norn Rad is the Silver Surfer. That's the bottom line, point blank, end of conversation. This is just something that's being done deliberate by Disney now. And you know it is, because they can't help themselves. But that's just, I mean, there's nothing's going to change about it. I mean, everyone's saying that this is the movie that's going to turn the corner for the MCU. I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening like that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this version of the Fantastic Four. Let me know if you're going to go watch it. Me, I'm going to probably skip it. Also, like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you like this kind of content. Also, please leave me a comment. I do enjoy reading them. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.